The team behind Craftopia are currently working on their next game, Palworld. Palworld is switching up the creature collecting formula and trying to prove it's not just another Pokemon clone, but going with a more mature theme. And guns? What's going on, Supreme Team? You'll hear Arekkz Supreme, and today we're looking at Palworld and going through everything we know so far. First off, what is this game about? Going off its Steam description, Palworld is a brand new multiplayer open world survival crafting game where you can befriend and collect mysterious creatures called Pal. Make your pals fight, build, farm, and work in factories. At first glance, you may be thinking Pokemon with guns, but that wouldn't do it justice. Palworld is much more than that, and is also bringing in staples from the survival crafting genre, a much better look graphics wise, and a more adult perspective. Not only can these pals be used out and about, and you can opt for a more quiet, relaxed style, they can also be used in more morally questionable ways. On your adventures in Palworld, you can befriend pals and explore the vast world happily together. You can sell them, butcher them to eat, give hard labour, pillage, rob, and exercise complete mayhem. This will be interesting to see if Palworld can pull off this mix of genres and avoid being thrown away as a creature collector clone. Next up, what platforms are for Palworld? A Steam release is definitely confirmed, as the Steam page is currently live. Be sure to wishlist the game, as this helps out the developers a ton. Other platforms have not been officially confirmed, although a new game like this would hopefully offer a console version at some point. Unfortunately, only PC at this point in time. Craftopia is currently on Xbox as well as Steam, so this points to Palworld at least having hopes of being on console. Palworld's release date. This game is expected to release around the end of this year, but at a push, early 2023, seeing as delays are becoming more commonplace due to the pandemic. Hoping this lands in time for the end of year holidays. Next up, an overview of what gameplay systems we can expect to see in Palworld. Survival. As expected, survival will be a core concept in Palworld, dealing with things such as weather, other poachers, and even food shortages, which may force us to consume these pals. Exploration and combat. Because of the variety of pals, we can expect to use them in various ways, from flying, swimming, digging, and even possibly driving vehicles. The variety of pals will also hopefully bring a large variety of combat choices as well. Player movement seems very slick, with sliding, over-the-shoulder shooting. Seems like the combat isn't just an afterthought, even with so many different elements in Palworld already. Building. Another gameplay concept that is a given is building. Although this time around, it won't just be you and your friends building, you'll be able to use these pals to help you out. Which also brings me to factory and automation. On top of building, you'll be able to design factories, more in line with games like Satisfactory. Difference being is you can put these pals to work in here as well. This is where morally questionable terms come into play. Going off another Steam quote, they will work forever as long as they're fed, until the end of their lifetime, or beaten to a pulp by the factory boss. Yikes. Outside of building and automation, there is life and farming. Palworld will offer life and farming orientated features, such as you and your pals generating power, watering plants, mining minerals, as well as watering vegetables, tending crops, and just improving your farm in general, catering for the more relaxed player. Along with this, there is pal breeding. A staple in creature collecting games, pals will be able to be mixed and matched for breeding. Players can look for the right combination to breed the best pals that will suit them best. For the more adventurous, there is dungeon exploration. Palworld will offer dungeons to explore. Expect to find big pals to take on in here, and who knows what else. This hasn't been touched on, but potentially story-related dungeons will be here. Poaching and crime. Palworld hints that there may be poachers that are intent on hunting endangered pals. It seems like you can be for or against this, giving players the option to hunt in these prohibited areas for money or protect against these poachers. Multiplayer. All these things can be expected to be tackled with a friend. How this progression is yet to be determined. Will it be server or character based? Once we get these details, I'll be sure to cover. All in all, there is something for everyone here and a large variety of systems. Hopefully this will attract players from creature collectors and the open world crafting genres and make for a pretty big fan base and a very well supported game. Lastly, system requirements. These are the minimum requirements, so recommended requirements may be announced closer to a release. These specs are also subject to change, but usually are a good indicator of how heavy of a PC you might need. That's all we know so far about Palworld. This game is definitely on my radar, so I'll be keeping a close eye on this. Leave a like and subscribe for more news and content on Palworld when the game releases. How do you think Palworld will turn out? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks Supreme Team, you've been watching Arekkz Supreme.